This video I'm just going to show you the join tool. Now it's a tool that, to be honest, I've had a bit of fun with, and there seems to be some things it doesn't join particularly well, but maybe it's just my use of the tool. But anyway, it works really well for most paths, and there does seem to be some quirky little bits about it that are hard to understand, but anyway, I'm certain very useful tool. Now, got past here, and here's the join tool. It joins basically points. So now it doesn't join it across. So you got here and you want to join that here. You want that as like maybe a straight line. That doesn't do that. What it does, it will tend to go off like off it in a line. It will just continue on, and that will continue on. And where it crosses will be the point where it will create. So if I just go across there, you just see it just goes there and just goes along there, and that's the cut-off point. So you create joins, close the path. So instead of an open path, you've got a nice little closed path. Maybe it's not what you want, particularly some cases. Would be nice if there were some options there, maybe to actually allow for a straight line from one point to another point, just as a very basic thing. But anyway, you've got also a situation like this where you've got like two paths crossing. Now, at this point you think, well, what's it going to do? And it works in a logical way, I guess. It's so I'm just going to go here, and I've got this one here, this point and that point. So just cross, and it just basically gets rid of those two bits there. And likewise, you don't have to select, you can just go like that, and it just cuts away those original points. That's quite nice as well. Great for sort of trimming down a path. Makes a nice little leaf or something. Okay, now there's another path here. Now you've got paths like here, it will go up and again there. So you just go across, and it does that, and likewise you go across there, and it just joins that sort of thing. So you can join those sort of paths. Really quite nice. Now over here you've got these two sort of lines going off in that direction. Now what it does, it will join it not across that way, but it will join it up to there and up to there. So where it crosses over, it will join. So just straight up there. What would be a nice feature in the thing would be a sort of maybe a percentage. You could actually control how far it goes from that position. I don't know, but certainly some additions would be nice. But now, unfortunately, because it can't close that, because let's say a straight line across there, it would be nice. You know, you just go like that, and it would do a straight line. Doesn't allow for that. Doesn't even warn it. It just sort of doesn't do it, because of course the path is going off that direction, and it goes off that direction. It never meets. And actually, at some point, it will decide it can do it. At some points, it doesn't. And I must admit, I've had some fun. Sometimes it seems to work, and you think, well, that path looks like it should join. You can see it physically looking like it. It just doesn't do it. So you can try. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe just my usage of the tool. But it does seem that have occasional issue where, even though the lines look like they should cross over at some point very short, if it's too far away, it just will refuse to do it. There seems to be a cut-off point. Now, slightly more complicated, but I'm just going to go over this one. This is another one, and you do crossover join tool, and it joins it up to that point. It's quite nice, quick like that. Now, this one you can see it cuts off that point, so you just get basically a thing, just cuts those off, so it doesn't go off in the distance. But now try and cross over here. Of course, it's exactly the same situation here. It's just going off in opposite directions. Won't join. Okay. Of course, you could always go over here, drag that path over here, and cross it over there, and then put that there, cross over there, and now try it, and it will, theoretically, that's it, should do it. Just do that, and it's created a closed path. Now this one does go slightly odd. Now you go there and you go there. You'd think, well, but it doesn't, of course, because what it does, it removes all this bit. It removes 2-3 points. It doesn't create the path there. So if you just go like that across there, goes bang, goes to that point, which is what the model would suggest. But it's doesn't create a star, which you'd hope it would create a closed star. Anyway, likewise, you've got this selection of line segments. If you go over here now, you've got that point there, and just go over there, and it goes out to that point there. And likewise, you go over this one over here, you think, well, you know, why isn't that doing what you think? It should go up that way, cross over there, so it should hit about here. I have to say, I'm not certain why that doesn't work as a pass. Now maybe if I select that and select that, those two separately, again then I go across like that. Still, not certain why. That seems to be exactly the same as the one up there. Doesn't seem to do it. You can go over these ones, and that will, yeah, so it joins it together like that, and it joins over that one, and that joins that one. Now this one still just fails to do anything. Of course, there's no point there, so it can't do it. Anyway, so that's a basic run through of the join tool. A very, very useful tool, even if it has slight, sometimes not so obvious reasons why it fails, and maybe we're working on various things, and maybe I'll see more patterns in it. But I hope you found this quick run through of interest with different paths and line segments. Thank you much.